So this right here, guys, I gotta tell you, man, for me, I can't speak for you guys, but for me, this has been big time. How many days have I been here? 3, 4, 5, 6, and today's 7. I'm part of this team, man. I already feel it. I come to you guys, man. You guys have helped me with so much stuff that I've needed help with, because just like you got orientated when you started here, I had to get orientated. There's some things that, quite frankly, I'm just like, dude, I don't know. I mean, every one of you in here has helped me with something. So I appreciate it. I want to remind you that success principle is key to your success. Nothing is accomplished without cooperation of others. Nothing. Nobody's ever accomplished anything in their life without some cooperation from someone else helping them to success. So be a team. Utilize a team. Utilize each other. And so with that said, I want to break off and I want to give you guys some things today that I hope will help you today, tomorrow, through the end of the month, and moving forward. Because one thing I've been able to do is jump into eLeads and just go in there. Just so you guys know, I don't go in there to cherry pick. I don't go in there to, oh, who can I catch not doing their job? I go in there as a teammate. And so most of the time, guess what I don't do? And I hope you guys will try not to do the opposite of this. I don't go in there and really care a whole lot. All I care about is what's next. What is the computer CRM telling me is next? And if it's an appointment that no-showed, right? And that's all I see in there, I know what's next. Let's get an appointment. So what's next is dial the phone number. What's next? Oh, they didn't answer the phone. Leave a note. So make good notes. I'll make good notes, because a lot of that is part of teamwork too. So like for me, where I'm not here all the time, hopefully you can just go in there and go, oh yeah, it looks like Ben, quoted them some payments, and Dave has the payments. And so you just pick that baton up and off you go. Does that make sense? So for those of you that don't have this, and it's okay, it is okay, because the past doesn't equal the future, okay, that don't have this on your phone, get it. Because I tell you what, whether you use it a lot or a little bit, you'll use it some. If you do it for one reason and one reason only, do it for as soon as I popped on there, I could go shoot a video. I know we have eLeads because it's probably half the price of Vin Solutions, which everybody else has. Guess what Vin Solutions does not have on their shitty phone app? Videos. Videos, man. And you know how cool it is when you get a lead to pick up the phone and dial the number, because they might answer right away, just like happened this morning when I got here. There's leads, there's number, they dial the number, they picked up the phone. 2 of them answered. A couple of them didn't have voicemail set up. A couple of them didn't answer. But you know the coolest thing you could do on that first email, if it were me, and this could become part of our process and the playbook we're building if we wanted to, I'm just going to hurry up and shoot a video email, man. The hell with that. Send it a freaking typed email. If they can't read it or watch it at a stoplight, guess what? It's too what?
Long.
It's too long. So how long does it take to shoot a 20-second video?
20 seconds.
Oh, gosh, I gave you the answer. How long does it take to shoot a 20-second video? And that's all we're doing, because the reality is I'm not selling anything. Only thing I want to do is make contact. That's the goal, is to make contact. Because if I make contact sooner rather than later, that's why I'm a junkyard dog for, man, let's get on them right away. I don't care where the lead source came from. Let's just get on it right away. Because if we don't get on it right away, it doesn't matter what the lead source is. We might be 3rd or 4th or 5th in line to be able to go out on a date. It's almost like The Bachelor. Anybody in here ever heard of that show? Or The Bachelorette? Yeah, my wife watches it. No offense, but I'm just like, dude, no, this is what's wrong with our country. People are watching reality shows like this where girls actually, it's okay for the guy to cheat on them for now until you decide to pick me and give me roses. But that show is what we deal with internet leads. It's like the internet lead is The Bachelor and everybody's trying to get the roses. Well, if I can get the first rose, most likely I can get the first what? Date. I want to date with you. So one example of that, I contact someone this morning, 8:38, guess what? Already in bed with somebody. Because stupid Subaru, probably paying lots of money to geofence, or I don't know what they're doing, but he getting called from Subaru, not interested in Subaru, but guess who did call him? Kia, which who's our sister? Kia. Pretty similar. So and this guy, fellas, has got 2 leases right now that are due to terminate, and guess what he's replacing with?
2 more.
2 more leases. Exact same thing, just different brand. Wants to go from Nissan, hopefully, to Kia/Hyundai. Will we win that one? I don't know. But I'll tell you what I won't feel bad about is if we don't, as long as we did what? And I talked about it yesterday. As long as we did what?
The shop.
Which requires this. Which requires this. And that's it. Because this doesn't require this, does it? It doesn't require you to have skills to take effort, right? Someone says to you, man, you're going to win the marathon. Well, the first thing you better do before you decide to go win a marathon is you better do what?
Train.
Put your running shoes on and go run. Well, guess what? You don't have to win the marathon to put your running shoes on and go run. You just got to put your running shoes on and go run. So you guys, I'm a junkyard dog for that stuff because I know it works. And I'm a junkyard dog because I go back to the mind part that we talked about in training last week. That's where everything happens. And if I convince myself to not take action, then I'm basically saying to myself, I got a crystal ball, or for this moment in time, I really don't want that $7,000 that I set as a goal. I really don't want that new hiking equipment that I set as a goal that I was going to buy this year, whatever. And that's what you got to just say, get them out of here. I don't listen to that voice because I don't need to listen to that voice to convince me that I don't have this, or to convince me that this lead sucks, or to convince me that there's no deal here even though I haven't done the process. I don't need that voice. I need the voice that says this and this. And the rest will take care of itself, because through this and this, what happens to this? It goes up. It just does. So if I can't get this and this done, guys, I can tell you the recipe for it is you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, because it's happening right between your ears. It's nobody else's fault. It's not the environment, the weather, the inventory, the duct tape on the freaking piece of shit out back. It is what's going on right here. So get that fixed. And if you can't, what's the remedy for that? Go find someone who loves you and cares about you and wants you to win, and then just vomit all over them. And I'm that guy, by the way. You can come puke all over me. I'll let you throw up all over me. I'll wipe it off, and then I'll be like, okay, bro, let's talk about this, man. I get it. Because guess what? You're going to go there. I'm not telling you won't. But try to remember that this is where success happens. It happens with actions, effort. The actions start with a process. That's why this dude that hates details, I really do, guys, is putting together the playbook that you guys are helping me put together. I'm not putting it together. We're all putting it together. Him getting hired, me being a new hire orientation here. There's a process for that. Guys, how frustrating is it in the real world for a new guy to just get thrown to the wolves, and every time you turn around, he's standing there asking you a question. Hey, what's that? Where do I get that? Do I need to sign on to that? Hey, right? But what's better than that is a great teammate would be that we have a process for what takes place. Then there's enough known, and then, oh, wait a minute. Hey, why don't you go shadow with Chandler? And that means you don't say a word. You just watch him and do everything, because he's going to now put all that into action, because that's what he's doing all day. And then you and Chandler, right? This is cool. And then you say, I'm ready. And Chandler goes, no, not quite yet, buddy Ben. Not quite yet. Because what we can have is us practicing the process on our clients. Because if we broke down the dollar amount that we invest per opportunity, what would that dollar amount be, you think? Take a stab at it. Guys, there's no right or wrong answers when we're practicing. We're practicing.
Couple $100.
Couple $100? Anybody else?
How much each lead is worth?
How much each opportunity, whether it come via internet, come via incoming sales call, or come via Fresh Up. And how we find out what that dollar amount is we know how many of those there are. And by knowing how many of those we simply go look at our advertising budget, which has a lot of different streams to it, but it's all advertising. And we go, okay, we spent this much divided by this much equals this number we're trying to look for. On average, it ends up being anywhere between 80, and I've seen it in the upwards of $150. So does that mean that if you screw one of these up, that you're toast? No, because we talked yesterday about batting averages. What's the batting average gonna be? If we're really, really good in this business, really, really good in this business, depending on how we count them, if we count them each opportunity to sell them a car, that's gonna be a lower closing rate. If we count people and not opportunities, it's gonna be a higher closing rate. So if all we do is count people, and maybe that became a 5-time be back, but guess what? We sold them, so what's my closing rate on that person?
100%.
It's 100%. Do I believe that number can be when you really become a pro, decide to become a pro, are a pro, working to become a pro? That number can be this right here, guys, and I am not kidding you at all. And I've seen some pros get it to here. Why do you think some pros get it to there? Because guess which leg goes away? It just does. They don't have time for that no more. Why don't they have time for it anymore? Because it's all repeat and referral business. And how they got there wasn't that they just showed up and it happened. How they got there was they followed the process, which meant they took actions on what that process is, which means they put in the effort, right? Effort with this right here, because effort without positive mental attitude is going to be difficult, and then skills. Okay? So, with that said, you guys good with that? It's on video, so I can erase this. If we go to the next, now we're going to get to the good part. So we're going to get to the skills part. Okay? And as I've been here, just a couple of things I want to talk about, get your input on, because guys, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So if you're skinning the cat we're talking about, and we're not talking about the knife that you're using, then guess what I hope you'll do for me and everyone else in this room? Share the knife with us. Give us your knife. Because if I'm out spending an hour and a half selling a car, closing a deal, is that better for you, or is it better if I blow through 3 of fresh ups because you've been over there making your phone calls and stuff and I haven't had nothing to do but sit out there and broom people? Which program would you rather, which teammate would you rather have? The guy that brooms 3 people, or the guy that has the skills and knows what he's doing?
Skills.
The skills. That's why we share them. That's why we share them, because we want that guy on our team. We don't want a pretender that can't play. We want a non-pretender that can play. So please, guys, always moving forward. This is practice. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. We can kind of make fun of each other, but not really if it's personal, because I don't want anybody to ever feel like that they can't just say what they want to say in here. This is practice. It's an open door, right? Practice. So the skill is simply this. When you send an email or a video, make sure that they can read it at a stoplight. I was talking to Tyler about that this morning, and Tyler says, hell man, I make it even shorter than that. And I'm like, well, cool. Because the days of sending out 5 paragraphs, we are your number 1 Hyundai dealer with great customer satisfaction, where you'll always find the lowest prices and best services.
Nobody cares.
They don't care. They're not going to read it, and you're going to get eliminated. Okay? When it comes to flexibility, is everybody flexible when they make a purchase decision?
Most of the time.
Most of the time. And when we're never going to talk about the 5% customers, because they're just there. We're going to focus on the 95% to develop our skills. With that said, if I get that 5% customer that isn't flexible, is that still a pretty easy sell? Yeah, that just means I might have to go freaking bring a car in from Utah or something, whatever, right? It's not flexible. But if most people are flexible, knowing that they're flexible, the question that has worked really well for me, and I've seen it work well for others, is, say, 2011 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. What's wrong with that car?
Needs a motor.
It needs a motor. Right. If I get a lead on that vehicle and I know that's what that needs, okay, and I want to be this guy, but I'm also human, what is the first thought that comes to my mind? Gosh, dang, that car don't even run. But remember, customers are flexible. They're not putting it into the search tab. 2011 Hyundai Sonata Hybrids under $5,000. Right? That's just not what they did. Okay? So knowing that's not what they did, and I've got this, and I know that this, and this is all going to tie together, I hope, and this are what makes me good, then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, awesome. What else can I say besides awesome? Hey, perfect. I'm aligning with the customer. What else could I say?
Great news.
Great news. What else could you say? Because I don't want you to be monkeys. I want you to be you. What else could you say? And if those work for you, then we'll move on. Right? But guess what else you say? Awesome, perfect, great news, I understand.
Have customers just like you in a similar situation.
Now this is a line, or what is called a pace, but that's too hard to remember. But you're wanting to align, you're wanting to gain cooperation real quick. That's a quick one word to do that. What you said, you can't leave out either, but not on an email or a text. Because remember, it's got to be short and sweet. They got to be able to read it at a stop sign.
It's got to be
or stop light.
sexy.
But it's got to have some music. It's got to be sexy, have some music. But what you just said is the next step, which I would do if I had them on the phone, or we were communicating back and forth through text, or I was face to face with them. And that is the why. You just said, I understand, and this is why. A lot of my customers have told me the same thing you're telling me. And because of that, this, and this seem to make sense. And that makes sense, doesn't it, Mr. Customer? That's my lead. That's my end game. To get them to go, yeah, okay, now that you told me the why. But if I just say, I understand, but did you want the blue or black one? That negates that I understand. Does that make sense? But when we're talking about what we're talking about right now, which is simply the situation this morning, which was a lead on a 2011 vehicle that has no engine in it. Okay, it's real simple. Perfect. And then with that, I would say, are you looking for only I wouldn't say the year, but Sonata Hybrid,
Where's the price range?
or I don't go to price because I let them take me to price. However, if they do take me to price, then we're going to talk about price. Because if I ignore price, and if they take me to price and I ignore price, will I win that game?
No.
Hell no. You ignored me? There's a zillion other dealerships out there. I'll just stay online in my underwear, sitting on the couch, drinking beer, eating Cheetos. Right? So, are you looking for only a Sonata Hybrid or something similar? And then guess what that is? Question mark. Why do you want it to be a question?
You get an answer.
Right, because usually when you ask a question, most people feel obligated to do what? Give you an answer. So if you keep it that short and sweet, that's how short and sweet I'd keep it. Now before I do that, what's the first thing I'm going to do? I personally will just call. Now I know you guys have said, so I don't care how you do it, but you got to make the phone call. Now some of you will send this first, give it a little bit of time, and then make the call. I'm okay with either. The reason I say make the call is because remember, the clock's ticking. And I don't give a crap, guys, what lead source it is. I really don't. I don't give a crap whether they called in on the $800 car or a $30,000 car. I only give a crap about this and this. Can we all agree to that? Moving forward, please. Can we all agree to that? This and this. Now, it doesn't mean you can't come to me and vomit on me one day because you had 17 of them in a row. Right? Because that shit happens. Right? But remember, you can have a slump and then all of a sudden, man, you can bang out of that slump, but you can't do it without this, this, and this. You just can't. It doesn't happen any other way. So the sooner you can get back to this, the better off you're going to be. Can we all have each other's back on that kind of stuff? Yes. Which means being good teammates and having good teamwork means that if I got some shit to talk about somebody, guess where I'm going to talk shit about them? Now, talking shit about somebody and talking to somebody else about how I can get some advice from you on how I can help somebody is totally different. I'm not talking shit about him if I'm coming to you going, dude, I just don't really know him that well. I want to, man, you know, God, I think I can help him, but what should I, just leave him alone. Okay, cool. I'm not talking shit about him, but if I come up and go, dude, what's up with this dude, man? Freaking never come, I just start talking shit. What am I doing?
Cancer.
I'm talking shit. We can't have that as teammates. Because guess what I've always said, and this might cause you to think about it next time you want to talk shit about somebody. because I'll probably talk shit about somebody again one of these days. It's just human nature, but hopefully not. When I talk shit about somebody, I think this thought. Just like when you come to me and talk shit about somebody. Now, it's one thing to come to me and say, hey, man, here's some things I think we can help this person with. Or, hey, here's some ideas I have. We don't need to talk shit about nobody, just the situation. Because it doesn't have anything to do with the person. It's just a situation. So let's don't talk about the person. Let's talk about the situation. You come to me and you say, man, can you believe da-da-da-da-da? I was here last night. I believe we can bus roll, talk shit, talk shit, talk shit. Guess what I walk away thinking to myself?
He's saying the same thing.
I wonder what he says about me when I'm not around. True? Is that true or not? Yeah, that's what I think. Because if somebody talking shit about somebody, then guess what? There's probably a lot of shit they can talk about me because I ain't perfect. Never claim to be, never will be. Just trying to be. So we got to remember that as a team, that we don't have a culture of that. That culture's the cancer culture. Let them go do all that shit somewhere else, but not in our house, right? Not in our family. Does that make sense? So getting back to this is one that's worked real well, because typically they'll come back. Same thing as if you're talking. Same thing as if you're face to face. That's the beauty of some certain processes and techniques. Some people call them tactics. I call them techniques. But certain techniques, you'll use them on the phone. You'll type them. You'll say them. They all start to mesh together. Because if I have somebody walk in and say, yeah, I'm here to see your 2011 hybrids Sonata you got online for. And my first thought is, shit, yeah, that car's parked out back and not even freaking have an engine, doesn't even run. Right? Well, what's the first thing? Great, man, is this your first time doing business with us, or have you done business before? No, it's my first time. Awesome. You been working with anybody online or through the phone or anything like that, so I can save you some time and get you with them? No, I just saw it online and showed up. Cool, where'd you see it? Hey, I saw it on Auto Trader, whatever. Oh, awesome. Well, God, I'd love to show you that. Hey, by the way, are you from around here? Where do you live? Right, I'm doing my process now. Forget about the Sonata that doesn't have an engine in it, right? That's not the car I'm going to sell him, obviously, because it doesn't run. So now I'm going to qualify and find out where I'm the pro in this. I'm the fishing guide. Where am I going to take you? Hey, so are you looking at just Hyundai Sonatas, Chandler, or are you considering something similar to that, maybe in a different maker model, or is it more budget for you?
The budget for sure.
Okay, price-wise, and this is another one you might want to, you don't have to write this one down because it'll be on video, it'll be in your playbook. But anytime budget comes up, I put them into rounds or price. We can put them into rounds like a boxing match, round 1, round 2, round 3. Round 1 is usually when we knock them out. Because it's, and I don't say that because we're going to knock our customers out, but that's what I'm saying because it's a boxing analogy. Is what I mean by that is round 1 is, you said more of a budget, so keep role playing with me here. So more of a budget, oh great. Chandler, so when you say your budget, price-wise, budget-wise, where are you hoping to be?
Around this price for this Sonata.
And what was that advertised for online?
It's like just
I don't have
under
it memorized.
$3,000, I think.
How much?
Like $3,000.
$3,000? Okay. Hey, suppose that you were to have a monthly budget and put $3,000 down on something. Would you consider something like that if you get something maybe a little bit nicer, newer, safer, and I start throwing out a couple value-added benefits? Would you consider that, or you just want to rule that out?
Well, I don't have $3,000 cash. I needed
Okay.
to finance it.
Okay, great. That helps me. Now what do I know? I don't need to start telling my way to the sale, right? And say, well, okay, but now I know you don't have any cash, but what am I possibly going to need to buy a car or finance a car?
Some money.
Some money, right? So now I might, but I don't need to pull that. I don't need to tell my way to the sale. I need to ask my way to the sale. So ask your way to the sale, which was part of the training we did yesterday, would simply go to, what time is it?
47.
47, okay. What we would go to is then ask our way to the cell, and I would say, okay, so great, let me back up just a second, Chandler. What are you driving right now?
I don't have a car right now.
Oh, how are you getting around?
Uber.
Oh my gosh, how much you spending on that a month?
Not too much. I work from home.
Okay, when you say not too much, what do you mean?
I mean, trips to the store, trip here.
What does that mean? What does that mean in dollars?
Maybe $100 a month.
$100 a month, okay. So so what you're looking to do is just get some decent transportation, you're not driving a whole lot. Does that sound about right? Awesome, have you ever had a car, financed a car, bought a car?
Yeah,
Have you? Okay, great.
yeah, my last one got repoed 18 months ago, so.
Okay,
Been without a car.
yeah, okay, great. So who was that financed with before they repoed it?
AmeriCredit.
AmeriCredit? Great, great. Well, here's what I want to do before because your time's important to me, Chandler. And what I'm also really telling you too is who else's time's important to him.
Yours.
Mine is too, man. As long as I'm doing this every day. If I'm not doing this, then I was just a liar. My time's important to me because I'm gonna be done here and I'm gonna go smoke, joke, eat, and fuck off for an hour. Right? That's not the time I'm talking about. I'm talking about
no.
I'm here to work and have fun and be part of a championship organization. That's what I'm here to do. And so as long as my time is being taken up by that, I'm cool. So how am I gonna save you time? Hey, so your time's important to me. Hey, follow me, man. Let's get that pre-qualification done so we can make sure we're on the right track. And then I'm on or off that deal, right? Make sense? So in there, some of the things that we did, which were techniques, is we asked questions, and we can email this, we can type this, we can say this over the phone, we can say this in person. Okay? Find out the flexibility, because once you do that, they'll start to open up, and then some of that pre-qualification that we have. And guys, I'm sorry to tell you, that's why there's a sophomore slump. It's called the 90-day slump. Any new car guy pretty much isn't immune to it. They get it because they think after 90 days that they know what about this business?
Everything.
Everything. And so then they go from selling 13 average because they're good salespeople, just naturally pretty good at communicating and getting the process and whatnot. But they're real good at listening. They're just like, yeah, awesome. They stay positive, sell a bunch of cars. But then that third month, they're like, look at me, I've arrived. So then they start telling their way to the sale. They start pre-qualifying. They start, oh, I don't answer those phone calls anymore. Oh, I don't take those leads anymore. And guys, if this is happened to you, because it probably has, the past doesn't equal the future. I'm not bringing it up to have you feel some pain, but I want you to feel just enough to know that that's ignorance. I'm sorry, I don't have another word for it. That is flat ignorance to think that you have a crystal ball and you know exactly what a car deal is and what a car deal isn't. Now, I can tell you this, if you do this and this, right, and have some skills involved in it, and the end result is no car deal, hey, man, I'll high-five you and talk to you about it all day long as to why that wasn't a car deal, because now we know. But until we do that, we just don't know. Okay? I'm going to share with you one other story that happened to me today. Okay? Lead comes in. I told you a little bit about it. 8:38 is when we get on it. It had been in the queue for maybe 10 minutes is all. Okay? We get what we get. I mean, Tyler was here and I said, Tyler, here's the deal on this, because he jumped in there. Make sure you do look on some of them, at least when I'm here, because I might have already done your process. I might have already completed the task for you. So you don't have to do it. You can just look at the notes and then maybe be like, oh shit, I don't understand. Man, what the hell? What am I supposed to do with this, right? That's, again, teamwork. We just communicate. But there's not a whole lot we can do. I mean, he's freaking in Fort Collins already about to go test drive a Kia. Might buy, might not, but he's got to get back to Laramie and he'd love to come check us out. Because what's the goal on every incoming internet lead that I get and incoming phone call that I get? That's the only goal. It's not to do this. The only time I'll do this through that avenue is if the journey is the journey they want to take, meaning they're a Vroom customer or whatever the hell that company's called. If they want to buy a car over the phone, I'll sell them one. Don't get me wrong. But I better make sure that's what they're doing before I start to sell them a car over the phone. Because I can't do anything until I get them here and touch it, feel it, drive it, smell it, and all that good stuff. So this is always the goal. Please, please, guys, if you've gotten out of that habit because you think you're going to save time and save them time, you're not. Go for the appointment. You don't need to sell the car over the internet or over the phone unless that's the direction the client wants to go. Because if they really, truly do want to go there, then don't just be a lay down and let them go there. Make them go through the process, because that process takes time. If they have a trade-in, you don't just go, cool, fire me the VIN number and the miles. No, great. Now that we're doing this over the phone, where's the car at? Oh, it's just right outside. Awesome. Do you have a chance to FaceTime maybe, and we can do a quick walk around on it, because you know it better than anybody else does, because that's the same thing I'd do if they were here, right? So I'm not saying don't sell a car over the phone or the internet, because you can, but don't think that that's the process in most cases, because it's not. In most cases, This is what you gotta focus on. You got to focus on the appointment. Set the appointment, finish the appointment, confirm the appointment, and then finish from there. Because here's another thing that happened. And again, there's no reason it doesn't matter who it is. Because if there's a who involved and I need to be the one to coach them, I will. And it's just that. But it's the situation. It's not the person that I want to talk about. So it doesn't matter who it is. It's the situation. Got an appointment set for 11 o'clock. Okay? We have this great system that lets us set the appointment, right? Reminds us, right? If we don't have a reminder, we got phones, we can do it. You guys saw what I just did, because that's one of my weaknesses. I lose track of time. I was like, dude, do me a favor, text me tomorrow morning. I'll have it on my desk. I'll try to remember, but boy, shit, now if I've got another teammate going, Ben, and I mean it, just say, Ben, call that customer. That's all I need. I'll be like, shit, yeah, that's right, I got that customer. Where the hell's that paper? Because at 11 o'clock, an appointment was set. Guess what happened at 11 o'clock?
Didn't show.
Okay? So no show. Okay? Is that going to happen in our business?
A lot.
Yeah, it's going to happen a lot. Am I going to freak out about it and get negative Nelly? No. I'm going to go, what's next? Well, what's next is, if I saw it, I should probably do what? Call. Don't do what I used to do and say, hey, asshole, what happened? Did you get in a car wreck and not bother to call me? I've been waiting for you. I used to say that when I was brand new. And I realized that didn't work. So guess what I say now? Hey, Chandler, I am so sorry. I was tied up with a client. We've been busy as all get out. Oh, please tell me I didn't miss you at 11 o'clock. And I kind of put it back to them like it was my fault. Oh, no. Because what's next on a no-show appointment that didn't show at 11 o'clock that I told that to? What's next?
New appointment.
Appointment. That's all. I'm not going to say, well, wait, before you come down, since you didn't come down at 11, and you're going to come down tonight, and I don't believe you're going to come down, can I just try to sell you the car over the phone? It won't work, I'm telling you. If it did, I would teach you how to do it. But it doesn't, because I've tried it. Okay? So what's next is this. Well, here's unfortunately what happened, and I don't blame the person, the who. I blame if we're going to blame people, we can blame the team. Because if we're all in this together, there's someone else involved in that could have helped pick up the baton and get that handled. And that's anybody else that's looking in there, including me. And I didn't look, because I wasn't here that day, but maybe I wouldn't have had time to look. Maybe I wasn't in front of that. So you guys have got to be the first defense, the first backstop to making sure that all your actions that are assigned to you are getting done. Or if you don't have time to do them, what do you have to do then? Go grab a teammate, man. Whether it be anyone in here, me, Dave, Carl. The one thing I've noticed about those two, they get on the phone. They're not afraid to call customers. They're not afraid to take turns. They're not afraid to do that stuff. And guys, that's a plus, big time. Because I go into some dealers and all they do is tell you what to do. Then when you come to them, and I'll show you a video when we get this shit hooked up one of these days. But when they tell, it's like, no, I don't want to talk to them. I don't talk to customers. But you don't have that problem here, man. Those guys are good at it. So if you can't take the action because you're with a guest, hey, Ben, real quick, man, I'm with a customer about to sell a car. My 11 o'clock no-show. Cool, I got you, man. Because if we would have made that call, guess what we would have found out? And I found this out making this phone call yesterday, and it was from Friday, if I'm not mistaken. No-show because this was contingent on a callback with more information. Okay, it never happened. So if I tell somebody I'm going to call them back because I got to get a little bit more information that they requested, what do I got to do? I got to call them back. I just have to. Okay, so this started the mix-up. No callback with info. Therefore, if I didn't get called back with the info, do we really have an appointment? Think about it for a second. Okay, so that didn't happen. So guess what? We got lucky. Sometimes we get lucky. We just sit back on the hope plan and we get lucky. Well, what happened on this one, we got lucky and the guy showed up to the dealership.
After we were closed.
And guess what? We were closed. Now, he let me know that we were closed before what we advertised we were being closed down, but that's a whole other story. Okay? But we were closed. Still haven't got in front of this, because what's telling me what's next is this right here. The system says appointment, no show. I know what's next. I got to contact and reschedule the appointment. So if after that nothing has happened, and we're leaving it all up to the client. We're again on the whole plan, right? Those are the guys that sell 6 to 8 cars month in and month out. I run into them 15 years down the road at another dealership, and they've been to 5 since then. And I ask them, how many cars you sell, man? Like 20, 30 now? Dude, I had a tough month last month, did 6. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man. We'll help you have a better month this month, right? Because they are on the whole plan. They don't do what we're talking about. Okay, so this here, callback info, we're closed, still hasn't got the callback. So this was on Friday. The appointment was for Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was, but 11 a.m. This happens, this is the situation that happened. So then Saturday, guess what the gentleman does?
One about an EV in Denver.
Went to Denver and he's burning gas in a Kona as we speak. Okay, again, I don't care who did it. Will I have a little bit of coaching? Absolutely. On the situation. Because it's things like this that we need to experience, quite frankly, hear and know are happening so that everything else that we're talking about and wanting to improve on and wanting to make the kind of money we deserve to make in this business, we just need to hear it and feel a little bit of pain and just go crap. So that next time, because that's what I'm coaching for is the next time. I'm not coaching to fix the past because that ain't going to happen. So next time, guess what we can then do? Get a little bit better. Guess what? We might get a little bit better by calling the no-show and leaving a message, and then that's as best as we did that time. Hey, we got a little bit better. At least we left the message. Now maybe the guy will call us back and say, hey, I'm coming tonight. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll show up when we're not here. Okay, well, I got a little bit better. Does that make sense, guys, what I'm saying? All right, and I tell you that so you can always stay here. Don't think you've got to get to becoming the best overnight. It doesn't happen. It's a little plus a little plus a little equals a lot. Our time is up. Okay? You guys have anything for me? Anything I can help you with? I appreciate all the help because it's a work in progress. But our playbook is coming right along. Everything's coming right along for what I want to accomplish anyways. But for you guys, I just want you to have fun, be positive, and sell some cars. Okay, like what's Carl said kind of quickly, the quickest way to get to 10 new Hyundais is to go in there and any Hyundai customer that you have not had contact with, or you don't have a what's next on. Think about that for a second. The what's next is like, I don't know what next is. Then guess what what's next is? This is what's next. And it's as simple as that. That's it. The goal is to contact them. Because if you mind screw yourself over and over, you don't even pick up the phone. Hell, you dial the number, they won't even answer. You sit and wasted 5 minutes going through your mind. What am I going to say? What is this deal? This ain't a deal. Whatever. And I'm only telling you these things go through your mind because guess whose minds they go through as a salesman? Hey, we're just not immune to it. We just got to understand it for what it is and get that file back in its filing cabinet for crying out loud. We don't need that file. So that's the next. And then the goal of that contact is to do what? That. And if they want to buy a new car over the phone, let's sell them one. If they don't, what time are you coming? Can you come right now or a little bit later? Oh, you can't? Great. So are mornings or evenings better for you? Always close with an either or question. Morning's great. So what do you think about? Is your schedule open tomorrow morning or maybe possibly the day after tomorrow? We got to get this done for the end of the month. Take advantage of the opportunity we have right now. It's a great opportunity for you. Unless you have the luxury of waiting. Do you have the luxury of waiting, Mr. Jones? That's a good question. You want to ask somebody a good question, ask them that question. They'll tell you, no, I don't. If they say yes, then we have a script for time, which we'll talk about at another time. I can keep going because you guys are good, but let's get you back to selling cars and getting to work. If you do need anybody to call, just let me know. Hey, by the way, I wanted to eat these, and I thought I can't just be the only one to eat these because they're actually pretty good.
They're delicious.
Those are straight off of United Airways.
This Stroop waffles, yeah, you can get them you can get them at like Target.
I didn't know that. It's the first time I ever had one. I ate it. I was like, damn, this is pretty good.
It was like this Biscoff, I don't know if you say that right, but like